And we're good. All right. Yo, world. It's your boy, JojoJovon. Thank you for tuning into the socially charged, debatable, and dope privilege show, talking about episode number 40? Episode number 40. Last episode, we hit y'all with Welcome to Clubhouse. This episode, we're hitting y'all with Clubhouse. More Clubhouse pros and cons. As always, I have my beautiful co-host, Cecily Jamelia. And not as always, but we also have two very special guests. We have Vivia E. Armstrong, who is an actress, voiceover artist, writer, and director from Chicago, Illinois, my hometown. If y'all know, some of the best food, some of the best talent.
The best.
Okay. Welcome, Vivia. We also have Zeke, GameTime Zeke. He can be found on Instagram at GameTime2289. On Facebook and on Clubhouse. He's a worldwide choreographer, dancer, and amazing talent. And we're going to jump into some amazing stuff with y'all as always. If you haven't already, download the HausHill Entertainment app today for iOS or Google Play devices. It's free, $99. Let's jump into it. Last episode, we had a very good time talking about some pros and cons of Clubhouse, the new buzzing app trend Clubhouse, and what's going on there. And so let's jump into it. What I'm gonna do today, guys, is ask you guys a few questions, not in any specific order, about what Clubhouse is doing for you or what it's not doing for you, right? So let's start with you, Cess. When did you join Clubhouse, and what's your thoughts on it so far?
I joined right after Thanksgiving, and I was invited by a friend who had already became an influencer. She's already gone. So she was like, get in where you fit in, girl. And that's the thing. I didn't really have a group or a clique. I know a lot of influential people on there, people who are putting in the work and the time, and they're on there all day and all night. And I'm on the fence. I see how a lot of my friends are there. And I'm just thinking, as a person who has things to share, who's also an educator, I don't see me educating all day long, talking all day long. So I feel like I'm acquainted with a lot of people who are there for position. And that kind of thing turns me off. My personal experience for Clubhouse is I've gone and I've connected with some amazing people and had access to folks I would probably never talk to. I think it's an amazing platform. I just think I'm turned off by some things that I'm seeing on there right now, like the very cliquish. The hype is extra, clickbait titles. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I feel like maybe that's just me. I'm just real sensitive to the extra parts of it, but I do believe that it's a great app, and I think everybody should be on it.
Agree. And thank you for putting it that way. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that clickbait stuff too. It's like I actually joined earlier in January this year. And so I was seeing, and even then, a little bit more meaningful group titles and room titles and things of that nature. Now it's like, am I following the wrong people? Where are all these rooms coming from?
You probably are. You probably are.
And I stated that in our last episode. Viewers and listeners, make sure you guys go check that out. Episode 39, Welcome to Clubhouse. I said, one of the things is I made specifically to be sure that I'm not following any of the same people that I'm already following on Instagram and Facebook.
I think that's good.
Yeah, just so I could kind of switch up the demographics a bit, network with some new people, that type of thing. Understand a little bit more about the app versus just automatically being cliquish with friends and people that I already know. So, good point.
But it's a community app, so you need people. You need people to talk to, and you need people to listen. So it's exactly. Like you can't be anti that. Otherwise, it's like you can do Clubhouse in your corner. But there's, I think here's the thing. We're all in LA, I assume, right? Everyone's a creator here. So it's like we're connected to other creators. And so those messages, campaigns, and voices are very loud in our ears. And I think it's just another example of like, removing those people who might be perceived as your peers or your competition, and going for whoever you want to connect to. I was dropped in the Joe Budden annex of Clubhouse. It was real ratchet. No, literally like Joe Budden and them. Like, I was like, what are these topics? Like, I don't even do this normally, not even for fun. You know what I mean? I don't even look at shade. That's not even my thing. And I was actually in a room with a reporter from, Wall Street Journal for something random. And the white folks was like, actually, I think we all were dropped in the Joe Budden corner of Clubhouse. Reality is that we're on the app at least 50%, probably more. And so there's a huge Black presence, which is awesome. We're usually late to the party, but you do have to kind of like, you have to curate the content that you want and the conversations that you want. And I happen to be probably following or being served content from a lot of creators. And these are people I know personally. So it's like, I want to turn that shit off. I want to go into other lanes. But as a creator myself, I want to have something to bring to the table. So I'm pretty much a person who speaks when I have something to say. Otherwise, yeah.
I like that approach because some people are just rambling, and you have certain moderators who are talking endlessly, and just it becomes something else. So with that in mind, Vivia Armstrong, excuse me, what has been your experience? When did you join the app? How are you liking it so far? And any horror stories so far for Clubhouse app?
Ooh.
And I feel like you have a good horror story with that. Ooh.
You said horror story. I was like, ooh. Because I'm like, I don't know if that person going to see this, so I got to be careful. But I will adjust appropriately. So, okay.
Yeah.
I got on around, I want to say it was around Thanksgiving. If it wasn't Thanksgiving, it was like going near, sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas. The sister got on eating then. Now, I was following this woman who, and I still follow her content. I don't even like saying follow it. I was connected to this woman and her teachings. Mm-hmm. And she said she was doing a Clubhouse room. And I was like, what's Clubhouse? So I got on because she said she was going to be doing a conversation there. And I was like, I want to hear her conversation because she usually comes with some fire. And so that's how I got exposed to the app. And I got on and I was like, what is this? And it was just a maze. And I don't know if it was because I have a background in like interviewing and radio and stuff like that, but I just was amazed. It was something about just being able to hear people talking and having different opinions as opposed to the whole like Instagram where it's just live and it's just two people talking and then you gotta be in the comments, or what is the one, Facebook Live, where it's just one or two people talking. It was something about being able to have all these different people and with these different voices that I just got excited. And then it was all these different topics and I was like, oh, this is so fun. And then it would be kind of like, I'm not really big on getting caught up about celebrities and whatnot. There were a few people that I was like, oh, what they got to say. And that was interesting to me too. I did see some ratchetivity after having been on there for a while. And I did get caught up in the whole being on there for hours. I mean, hours in the very beginning. And I don't know what it took, but some kind of way I eventually pulled myself up out of that vortex of being on Clubhouse for hours and hours. And yet it still proved to be very beneficial for me. I've gotten some great advice, met some great people, gotten free clothes, gotten a nice photo shoot, and
Sugar
just
daddy?
made some. Not yet, but I did. I did go into some. How did you know? Did I tell you this?
You did not, but I'm interested in hearing about that.
It was coming. Yeah. I have been in the rooms, not frequently, but I have been in a couple of rooms about becoming a sugar baby and sugaring without the sugar. I was intrigued. I was like, how does one pull such sugaration without releasing sugar? I wanted to know.
A lot of sugaration.
Yeah, yes. I wanted to know about this life. And to be very transparent, it sounded like it was very complicated. And I'm just not one to be playing with people's emotions. And that karma game is strong. So I just was like, mm-mm.
Yeah. Now you did speak on a point I wanted to ask you before you continue. You spoke on, being on there for hours or being an avid user in the very beginning, which is kind of like a video game. If you play video games or kids play them and they get addicted for a moment, then they're like, oh, give me a new game. Yeah. Do you think that because you have a pretty substantial following on Clubhouse for the app being still in its beta version, iPhone only, do you think that you being on there as much as you were attributed to your followers on there? Because you're over like 500 at this point and it's still,
Yeah. I think it was a mix. I think it was a mix of people coming in new to the app who were following me on other platforms. Like how you said, You was like, I'm not trying to follow the same people. I love that concept. And to be real, I didn't even think about that when I first got on, because I'm just thinking I'm getting on to hear this lady room. Had I known, I wouldn't have followed everybody.
Right.
That I originally
you did,
followed.
so the unfollow would be shade. Yeah.
It needs to happen either way. I would say the only thing that I don't love about that, like on Instagram, I can go on Instagram on my computer and scroll through more easily to be like, who am I following? Why am I following them? And adjust accordingly. On Clubhouse, it all has to be on the app. Now, granted, I could probably do it on my iPad, but it's not as versatile for me to go back through to see who am I following and why. And I later learned that it has to be a follow for you to ping people into the room. So you can have like a bunch of people following you, but if you're not following them back and you want them to be able to come in your room or you want to invite them into your room, you can't do that. You're just going off of the strength of them getting a notification and seeing you already in that room, but you can't physically, invite them to the room. I don't know if that answered the question.
So and you did answer the question. So it makes sense to follow people that you would like to have conversations with or network with, because then that'll be the rooms that open up to you and you can ping them into your room.
Exactly, which I later learned. I didn't know that, of course, initially. I'm just discovering what it is. I think the contribution for the growth of my following was people coming from other platforms and me being on for the hours and contributing to conversation. If you just on there talking about a bunch of nothing, you're not going to really get any quality followers. And I had to catch myself not to be like, watching numbers, because that really didn't matter, because if people weren't coming in that I was being able to contribute quality to and vice versa, it just didn't serve the purpose. Now, the trick for me too is having interests that go outside of entertainment. Like, I want to learn about real estate opportunities. I want to know about meditation. I want to know about salt baths and sound healing, and being able to follow that many people, that does get to be a lot. And I wish there was a way, of course, it's still in the beta stage, but it would be lovely to be able to categorize, like, these are the people I follow for this type of thing, and so forth and so on.
Makes perfect sense.
That's actually a great idea. I like that.
That is a great idea. And shout out to healing and meditation. I mean, we've had a rough 2020.
My gosh.
We all need to be healing and meditating as somehow, some way, safely.
I forgot to tell you the horror story.
Oh yeah, we're gonna catch that horror story real quick. Speaking about health and wealth and all that good stuff real quick. Cecily Jamelia has been going to this amazing fitness soul bike cycling class at the beach. Maybe she can fill you in on those, Vivia, later on, some switching up some advice on that, because this looked pretty fun. I haven't been able to make it, but Cess, keep doing it, girl. You
got to come with me. It's amazing. We're on the rooftop in front of the Pacific Ocean, watching the sunset as we spin. It's like meditation on a bike. All are welcome.
Yeah. Horror story of Clubhouse, Vivia, before we hop into Zeke's, Clubhouse.
I would say for me, I wouldn't say it was necessarily a horror story, but it was a peek behind what some influencers' lives may really be like. So there was somebody that I connected with that had a nice number in their following, and a lot of love was being shown. And there was great energy in the initial, and come to find out they were having some challenges of their own, of revolving around their mental health, that it didn't connect for me in the image that was portrayed online versus how I discovered how they lived. And for me, that was like, whoa, if this is what this shit is like, I don't want it. I'm like, I see why the Lord has me working on myself before I go too far out in regards to alleged like influencing and whatnot.
Did you have anything on that, Cess? I saw you shaking. Did you have anything?
Just amen. I mean, I totally, before I did all this, I worked with celebrities and PR, and I mean, like, smoke and mirrors are so rampant in this town, and I feel like social media has had that effect on others. And that's just the thing. It's like, while you're doing this, I'm thinking like, what's going on behind the scenes? Right. I can't wait to start. I'm going to do this room once. I'm going to do it for 24 hours. Like, just having folks come in and confess like how much crazy stuff has happened behind their addiction to the app. You know what I mean? And this is not my God. When these alerts and these things pop up, I get pissed. You know what I mean? But I know some people are
pinging you in the room.
No, I'm just talking about just the rooms, honey.
Oh,
just
okay.
the room
Yeah.
activity. I'm like, for real. You know, people respond to those things. That's why those things pop up. And I just feel bad for those who are susceptible to things like that. There's somebody who's going in, the FOMO of it all. You know what I mean? Yeah. It can be very, very unhealthy. And even when you turn off your notifications, if I sent you something, it lets that person know. So that person say, hey, you might want to come in this room. So then you start feeling like, okay, well, maybe I should keep it on. Like, it's a psychological game.
Yeah, and look at these notifications. They be coming through, honey.
The notifications be coming in all day. I don't be knowing who it is or where it's coming from. It's a lot.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just have learned not to be looking at them motherfuckers, but I leave them on. And what I know for sure is the ones I'm supposed to see, I'ma see. And them the rooms that I get in. So I've had people say, you know, it's a lot of people talking a lot of nothing on Clubhouse. And you know what? That's true. And there's people, the being able to validate people's quote unquote experience and results, that is something you have to do your due diligence. I've heard of people who have lost money sewing into alleged experts to be able to have them do things for them or whatnot, and then people ain't no experts. They just on there talking shit, whatnot. I don't know if we can curse, but that's what's happening. So then for me, what I've learned is just, I trust the discernment of, and the research of, if this person don't seem right or don't feel right, and I come up out of them rooms. You know, I was in the sugar and without sugar, but you know, I knew when to leave.
You need to send that to me or ping me next time you're in there. Just do some research.
Just for research, you know.
Yeah.
I'm glad y'all talking about that, and I'm glad we're having this conversation again. We have my beautiful co-host Cecily Jamelia, the beautiful Vivia Eterna E. Armstrong, and we have Zeke Titus, aka Game Time, and we're talking about and unraveling pros and cons of Clubhouse. And we've been having some interesting conversations. Maybe not so interesting as some of the rooms are on there lately, but you know, you guys talking about this made me think about someone saying recently in one of the rooms I was in, people are taking naps in the rooms, you know, falling asleep, going back to the room and picking back up where they left off. Let's not let this affect our jobs and our mental health and really be stressed out about another app. Yes, it's imperative to network and create and co-create and collab, but taking a nap, you know, I do what you do. I personally can't. I won't be napping on.
I've taken a couple.
People are using multiple devices too, though, babe.
Now that too. I agree. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I am for the multiple device. I have one. We talked about that earlier, actually. Game Time. I said I have one device with Clubhouse, maybe turned all the way down, and then when it's something interesting or I feel like I can chime in or provide value, like you said, Cess, there I am. Before
sleep is too much.
Yeah, going to sleep. But then also I'm hearing that people are selling invites on eBay.
That's crazy. I am literally a Clubhouse fairy. I give them away for free every few days on my Twitter.
I took your following.
What?
Because I saw you started saying, hey guys, I got a few invites left. DM me. I just followed suit. Because I mean, it's like, you know, we want our people to be involved if it's something that can help them.
I give it to pure strangers.
Taking it, so I started being more selective when they weren't taking my.
Well, that's the reason why, because I was sending stuff to friends, trying to talk them into it, and it seemed like these were not the types of people that wanted to be on there. So these invites would go nowhere. So I'm on Twitter every once in a while. I'll say, "Hey, does anybody want them?" And I've got tons of people that have seen old tweets that they'll circle back, and I'll say, "Check with me next week." I've given away probably 15 in the past week. Once I give them away, they give them right back to me.
Yeah. Where are the invites coming from? I'm sorry. That part I got lost with.
They just give it to you. Yeah, like every week. They give it
once you invite more people, they'll give you more. Is that how
I think that's it. Yes.
If people join, if you invite someone and they actually join, they'll give you more.
I think it's about the I think it's a conversion thing. So the people that you invite are signing up, and you have you're picking good people, and so we want you to go and get other folks that want to participate. Exactly. Another way is to become a mod.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, Zeke, before we heading up out of here, privileged people, I want to get your perspective on it, Zeke. I know you recently joined. Was it in 2021? Was it just recently this year?
I started, I think, like the beginning of January. I don't remember the actual date. I actually got invited by a friend who I haven't really spoken to in a very long time, but there's no bad beef or anything. We just don't communicate just because, adulting. But I decided to check the app out, and over the course of, I wouldn't say like the past month, I've had a lot of different mixed feelings. I know in the beginning, trying to figure out what room to go into, the hallways giving you different ideas. It can be very toxic, in my opinion. I do love Clubhouse for the benefits of meeting new people and networking, especially the fact that I'm able to communicate and meet new people all over the world. You never know who is from where. I love that aspect, and then just people's opinions and the conversations can be very interesting. But being a member of the LGBT community, the community can be very toxic in a sense of very catty, very argumentative, people talking over each other through the app. In my opinion, I feel like it's some form of like entitlement, especially when people start to create these rooms and they become the moderators. People start to become very disrespectful. I feel like there's no type of respect or common courtesy in some sense. And so I had to really take myself away from certain groups and certain rooms. Like, for example, I want to say it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, I get along with everybody. I was having a conversation with a person in one room, and I brought up a person who I met, and I thought he was pretty cool, but then the reaction in the room was just like a dead corpse, like, ooh, oh, you know what I mean? You don't see people's facial expressions, so you just go with sound effects. And I'm just like, oh, did I say something wrong? And it was like, oh yeah, you shouldn't talk to him. Oh, you shouldn't do this and that and the third. Me being an adult, I don't allow anybody to tell me who I can or cannot talk to. I feel like I'm entitled to meeting whoever I want to meet. And if you don't like a person or if you feel some type of way, then that's on you. So I said that respectfully. However, it just seems like people are starting to talk about each other in separate rooms. Yeah. And it's becoming very high school. I'm sorry, go ahead.
They'll create a private room. That's a similar thing happened to me too. Yeah. But it happened to me. And it was like, I walked into a conversation. They were talking about similar to this. And they were saying how wonderful Clubhouse was. And I said, well, hey, it has its downsides. And some people might have this, maybe their only experience, and they go away with a bad experience. And, it's like, you got to be open-minded and always know that there's some folks, it's their first time, they're just trying to get used to the app. So you can't be so hardcore about Clubhouse is great and everything else you say about it is, they were on that tip. I'm 44 years old. So I'm like, no, you have to give grace for people to have different opinions. Right. And the woman cut me off. And I said, how can you respond to me when I didn't finish? And she was like, is that about you? And she went, mind you, we're the only two people of color on stage, bunch of white dudes. And she went from whatever that was, her corporate voice to her open voice. Ooh, that's cool because I'm from Sacramento. We only a few miles away, baby.
Quick.
I don't even know what Sacramento do, but tell me.
I'm just like, I don't have nothing against you personally, but I know good and well that you can't respond to my comment if I don't finish it. Like, how does that even work? And this right here is indicative.
That they have on here.
And so she disappeared from the room. It was her room. She disappeared from the room. Two other people disappeared from the room. And I'm thinking, what just happened? So it got quiet. They're all communicating with each other. They're all friends in real life. So I was like, well, since I'm the only one talking, this right here is an example. If this is your first time being on Clubhouse and something like this happened to you, you could say Clubhouse is bad and this is why. So it's okay for us to say Clubhouse is good sometimes, Clubhouse is bad sometimes. Permit that kind of conversation because you might say
it has its good days and its bad days, or its good rooms and its bad rooms.
Exactly.
There's different strokes for different folks, and I'm starting to learn that, and I'm starting to kind of maneuver myself in a different way of using it of more networking and good communication rather than the crazy ratchet that we get on reality TV and our regular daily lives. I just don't got time.
Yeah. Right. Well, listen, y'all.
Wonderful.
We have cracked it open on Clubhouse, all about Clubhouse. Thank y'all for tuning into the Socially Charged, Debatable, and Dope Privilege Show. I have had an amazing time today with my amazing co-host, Cecily Jamelia, the beautiful Vivia E. Armstrong, actress, voiceover artist, and creative everything else. You can find her on Instagram, as well as GameTime Zeke 2289 on Instagram. Yo, Clubhouse, download it, don't download it. Either way, let us know what you feel about it. And until next time, in between time, stay safe, stay tuned, stay healthy, stay wealthy, and we'll catch y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you.
Period.
Peace. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.